Guys, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes,
So, hope you remembered what we have covered in the previous session. So, what we have completed. Have I completed this Docker network and Docker volumes and all? Did I complete?
bridge network, run network,
Yes. Host
host
network.
network.
Yeah. So, it means the network part completed, right? I completed the network. So, do you remember what we are going to cover the next topic? What is the next topic? Docker. Yeah, the compose, correct. So, today plan is I want to cover the topic called Docker Compose. And anyone tell me, I think Kritik and Aman is there, can tell me guys, what is the purpose of Docker Compose? Why do we need to go for Docker Compose? Any idea on this? Compose? Why Compose? Why Compose? Docker Compose? It is to manage multiple containers. Fine. What else? You are exactly correct. Yes, Docker Compose is used to create some multi-container architecture. Guys, as you know, if you go with the Docker file, the Docker file, it is to create what? What is the purpose of Docker file? Docker file to build the image, right? So using the Docker file, we can able to build the image. So Docker a file where we don't have any extension, but we can able to build the image. In the same way, if we go for Docker Compose, it's also a file. What do you think? What is the file extension? What is the extension of your Docker Compose? It is also a file. It is an YAML file. It's a YML. What is a YML? Or it's a YAML. It's a YAML file. YAML or YAML. Yes, whenever you hear this word YAML file, right? So what is the one thing you will always keep it in your mind? What is the one thing? YAML file. YAML file means where we discuss YAML file. In case of Ansible, right? In case of an Ansible, a playbook. In playbook, we have used this word YML or YAML. Can you tell me, guys, YML or YAML? What is the one important things whenever if you are talking about the YAML file, which is written on top of the Python, written on top of the Python. So indentation, correct? Indentation. So indentation, you have to remember. So Python is written on top, sorry, your playbook or maybe a YAML file. It is written on top of your Python. So thereby you have to remember the indentation. So Docker Compose to create a container, right? To create a multi-container architecture. So if you want to create a container architecture, we basically go for Docker Compose. Using the Docker Compose, you can able to build a multi-container Docker application. So I can also call this, it will help us to create some microservice architecture, right? It helps us to create a microservice container. Microserver architecture we can able to prepare with the help of your Docker Compose. So Docker Compose, it's one of the tool which is to run your multi-container Docker application. So with the Compose, you can create some YAML file. Thereby we can able to configure our application service. Then using this YAML file, you can create one or you can create the multi-container. You can build the containers. Multiple containers you can able to build with a single command. There is a command called up command. Using that, you can able to create and start the service from your configuration file. Very simple. How in Ansible we are writing the playbook, right? We are writing the playbook in the form of YAML file, right? And then you are creating the architecture, right? In the same way, in Docker, using the compose, which is an YAML file, even if you go for Kubernetes, everything we are having the YAML file. So here also we have a YAML file, which is called as a Docker compose YAML file. Using this Docker compose YAML file, you can able to build the containers. Using the Docker file, we can build the images. Using the Docker compose, you can able to build the containers, guys. How? That we'll discuss practically. But one thing you have to keep it in mind, here you have to write some script. As like an Ansible, we are writing the playbook script. Here we are going to write the same script in the file called YAML file, where we are going to write some script. Using this script, we are going to build the containers. How? That we'll discuss practically. See, earlier I said you one website called YAMLlint.com. YAMLlint.com, it is the place where you can verify your YAML, right? Lint means testing, correct? So whenever, if you want to test it, right? Your YAML, whatever the code that you have written for YAML to build your Docker container, you are writing some script, right? So this script you can validate inside the YAMLlint.com. This editor we have used in case of Ansible playbook. The same editor I'm going to use it for your Docker compose also. Guys, basically here we are going to build the containers, right? So we have something called services. Whenever you write one reserved word, we have, which is called services. Services is one reserved word which will be used inside your Docker compose YAML file. So whatever the services that you want, right? Whatever the services that you want, you can give it inside your YAML file itself. Say for an example, I need a DB service. You can give like this, DB colon. This is one services. This is the customizable name. You can give any name. Say I need a service called, say, I need a WordPress service. I can use a WordPress. Right? You can give it like this. So I need a service called DB. Also, I need the WordPress. You know, right? WordPress is one of the places where you can prepare your images or prepare your PDFs, that and all. So I need a DB service. I need a WordPress service. And below this DB, you can define, right, whatever that you want. Say for an example, I need an image. Say for DB, I need an image called MySQL, and I need a version called 5.7. I need a 5.7. Like that, you can give some versions also here. The default, again, a version called 5.7 that I need. Right, MySQL 5.7. And in the same way for WordPress, the image, WordPress image, say image name also, WordPress. And say I need the latest version. I'm giving the tag called the latest version. So it will pull from the dockerhub.com. So here I have given the services. There are two services I need. I need a DB service as WordPress, and image name is MySQL 5.7, and image WordPress. Say, let me go to this dockerhub.com. If you open MySQL, can you see here? I have a MySQL image, right? Suppose if you need a I'm clicking on this MySQL. Here we have a mini tab. Here we have a mini tab. So in that I'm using 5.7 version. Suppose if you need a WordPress, I can give a WordPress. So this is a WordPress official image. When you click on this, I'm giving the latest, right? So this is, I'm defining inside your YAML. There are two images, right? One is MySQL image and another one is WordPress image. This is the two image I want. And suppose once the DB is completely created, once the this setup is completed, then only I want to start the WordPress. Right? I don't want to start this two simultaneously. No. once your DB is completed, I want to start my WordPress. So for that, Docker provides one reserved word, which is called depends on. We have a word called depends on. Using this depends on command, right? You can tell them, using that, we just to tell like, so once my DB is completed, once this is complete setup is completed, then only I want to start my WordPress. You can add many services. Suppose if you have a more, say, suppose we have one more, like some web services we have, or some other operation we have, say task number 1, task number 2. Like that, you can define any, services you can define it here. So it means that WordPress will be started only when all these tasks will be completed. Once all task is completed, then only it will start. Then only it will start. So you can define all the depends on here. All the depends on, you can define it here. In my case, say for an example, I'm defining DB. So what it means, depends on means once your DB setup is completed, then I have to start my WordPress. Before that, I don't want to start. Before that, I don't want to start. Suppose you want to do the port mapping. We basically do the port mapping, right? Port mapping. How can I do the port mapping? Inside your YAML, Docker Compose. So you can use a ports. You can use ports, a colon, and I want to port, say for an example, generally your WordPress will be running on in locally 8000 port number. I want to do the port mapping from 8000 to 80, right? So local machine 8000, and I want to port it to 80, which is Docker container is running. So as you did in the command line, right? Adopt command. So using the command, we basically do the port mapping. Space -p, you will write the server IP address colon the container IP address, right? The local machine IP address. In the same way, you can do the port mapping for your WordPress also, right? Suppose consider like if anything not goes well, your DP is struggling somewhere because of a network problem, or your WordPress is struggling. So whenever, if you are seeing any failure, immediately I want to restart. Then you have one reserved word called restart. So using this restart, even if there is a failure or even if there is any struct, right? So it will be automatically restarted. So here also WordPress also, I want to restart automatically. Say always I want to restart. So you can use this reserved word to restart your container, to restart your service. But apart from this, again, suppose if you want to store your volume, right? In Docker, we have a volume. Say I want under the volumes, we can create as one service, right? Inside this volume, I can tell, right? So I need this volume should be created. One volume should be created, which is called DB_data. And that volume initially will be an empty volume. I don't have any volume initially. So maybe an empty volume. And here maybe you can map it. Say, suppose here inside your DB, I'm saying there is a section called volumes. I can say it's the reserved word. I can give it like this. Say for an example, whatever the DB_data, whatever the volumes or whatever the file that you are storing, inside the /var/lib say MySQL, all those files should be available inside this DB_data. So whatever the files that I'm going to add inside this /var/lib/MySQL should be stored inside this _DB_data. Like that, this is named volume. It is a, yes, correct, Docker volume. It's not a bind volume. It's a Docker volume. So bind volume, it is somewhere, we have to create a customizable location where we will bind the volume. But now I have given the volumes, right? directly I am giving DB underscore data. Then it means that it's a Docker volume. It's a named volume. Right? So if you want to validate this, I will click on go, right? That is saying checking valid YAML. It's a valid YAML. Along with it, you can add some environment also. Suppose if you want to set some environmental variable, say your database, you should have the username, right? You should have the URL. You should have the password. Then how to access that one? You should have some database name also, right? And then you can add some environment also for your database. You can add some environment is the reserved is the sorry environment. We can add it for your database. So let me cut this. I can add here. So this reserved where I can use it. Environment. So here I can tell which database. Say I'm setting some MySQL underscore root, say root underscore, say password. That's what I'm setting, root password. MySQL. Guys, 1 minute. Right. So I can give MySQL underscore root underscore, say password. I can give some say WordPress. Say some WordPress. Something. Say I want to set some dummy database. I can type MySQL underscore. What is the database name? What is the database name? Say WordPress is the database name. WordPress is the database name. Say MySQL underscore user. What is the username? The username is also WordPress. Right? Anything you can give it. So MySQL underscore say password. I want to set some password. Want to set some password. Say password is, say again, a WordPress. Like that. I'm giving something. WordPress. In the same way, I will go to the WordPress. Here also, I will set some environment. I will set some environment. Say environment. Here I'm typing. Say MySQL. WordPress underscore, say database underscore. What is the host IP address? Do you know what is the default IP address of MySQL? Remember 3306. 3306 is the default port number of your database, MySQL. 3306. Say I want to add username for your WordPress. I want to add some username for your WordPress. Say WordPress. I want to add some password. So WordPress. I want to add some database name in which I need to store the data. I already given, right? What is the database name? Say WordPress, right? I have given. Also giving here WordPress. So like that, you can define, your own schema. You can define own YAML file. So you can write it actually once you have good experience with respect to Docker Compose. You can able to build this one. All these words are already defined, guys. It's a reserved words. Supports is the reserved word. Depends on is the reserved word. Image is the reserved word, right? So this image is the reserved word. This image is the reserved word, right? Only you are giving this name, right? If you check this is valid YAML file, yeah, it's a valid YAML file. So generally here you are writing the script to build your container. In case of your Docker file, you are building the images. But in case of Docker Compose YAML file, here you are writing this services or writing this file, YAML file, to prepare your container. Right? So let me copy this and I can go to my terminal. So before that, I should check my Docker is available, Docker space -, version. I don't have a Docker. Let me update my machine first. I will update my machine first. Okay, now let me install the Docker also. Apt install docker.io space -y. So well, installing Docker in my machine. In my machine. So it's completed. Once it is completed, I can check Docker space -, version. Docker is available. Is there any running container? Of course, we don't have any running container. So, cool. Now we have a Docker compose, right? We have written Docker compose file. So let me copy this. And before storing this particular file, I have to do 2 steps. Guys, if you want to execute the Docker compose commands, right? We have many commands for Docker compose. Those commands, if you want to run it, right? First of all, you have to download the Docker compose file. We have one file called Docker compose file. You may ask, right? You already have a Docker, right? Yes, Docker is available in my machine, but that Docker machine is not having the Docker compose package. In default, your Docker machine will not get the Docker compose commands. So what you should do, you have to download some repository from the internet. So from the GitHub actually, and then you have to use it. And then you can use the Docker compose commands. So for that, so I already have a document for that. So let me open this Docker. Okay, let me check my drive. Here we have my Docker compose document. So inside this Docker compose, we have this particular command, right? Sudo curl. Curl means to download actually. I'm going to download from the GitHub. There is a file called Docker compose file. I'm going to download from the internet. So for that, let me copy this particular command. Simply you can put it in terminal. And this will download the Docker compose. If you check Docker -compose space -, version, permission denied. Okay. So I have to give the permission also. Execute permission. To execute this one, I need to give the execute permission. So for that, we have a chmod command, change mode command. So using this change mode, I can give the permission. Now if I check it, so it is giving 1.23.2. That is the Docker compose version. Okay, we have downloaded the Docker compose. Now hereafter you can execute all the Docker compose command. Okay, so I will create one directory actually. I will create one directory, say Docker, make directory one Docker directory. So if you check ls, yes, I have a Docker. I will go inside this Docker folder. Now let me create one YAML file, docker-compose .yml or YAML. So whatever that you copied, right? That you have to copy. So from here, so let me copy this and paste it here. Just to paste it. Okay. So let me save this particular file. So we have a Docker compose YAML file. In this Docker compose YAML file, you define 2 services. One is the DB and WordPress. And this is the image name, and this is the image name. And I have to restart always. And this WordPress depends on DB. It means that suppose if your DB is struggled, your WordPress will not be started. Once the DB is completely finished, right, then only your WordPress will be starting, right? So, and then I have done the port mapping also. And if anything struggle your DB and the WordPress, I have to restart always. I have done. And I have to create one Docker volume, which is DB_data. And whatever the files that is available inside your DB, that will be stored inside the DB_data. And I have set the environmental variable also for your DB and the WordPress. This is also we have completed. So let me clear this. And now I want to write one single command that will execute your Docker Compose file. So if you check Docker ps space -a, I don't have any container. If you check Docker images, I don't have any images. Even Docker volume ls, I don't have any volume. Is there any network Docker? In default, you will get the network, right? Docker network ls command, it will give you a bridge network, a host network, and none network, right? So, right. See, Docker Compose, when you execute this Docker Compose file, right, it will prepare one network, guys. That is called a default network, which is called a custom bridge network. Guys, here you have a bridge network. Whenever you install the Docker, you will get a bridge network, right? Docker 0 network, which is one of the default network. Maybe you can call on this. But when you're running the Docker Compose command, up command, what will happen? One more network will be created. That is also a bridge network, but it's a default network. Default Docker network will be created. It's a custom bridge network will be created. So to prove this point, let me write Docker hyphen compose. Docker hyphen compose up space hyphen D is the command you have to write it to run your Docker Compose YAML file. So I'm hitting enter. It is Docker hyphen compose unsupported configuration option for services DB. The compose file is invalid because somewhere I made the mistake. Let me check it. So DB and DB_data. Okay, I forget to define the versions here. So let me copy this. So let me copy this and I will go to my terminal here again. And let me open once again this Docker Compose, Docker hyphen compose dot YML. Or let me hyphen compose dot YML. Okay, so once again, Docker hyphen compose dot YML. So we can add this particular file and save this. Now, if I use the same up command, press enter. Yes, it is pulling the MySQL image first. Can you see here? It is pulling. So once this one is completed, once it's completely completed, then only what will happen? It will start pulling the WordPress. Can you see here? Now it is pulling the WordPress. So it is pulling the images, right? And then it will start to create the container. It will create the volume. It will create the network, everything. I said, right, there will be a custom default Docker network. See, it is creating the Docker underscore DB when it's completed. WordPress container also got created, right? So if you check Docker PS space -a, so can you see here, there are two containers running. One is the WordPress container and also MySQL container is running. And for WordPress, I have done the port mapping, right? I have done the port mapping. And you can see the port mapping here. I said, right, 3306 is the default port number for your MySQL. That also you can figure out here. And both are up. Now, if you check the Docker volume space ls, can you see here? The volume got created. DB underscore data. Docker is the file name, folder name, directory name. Docker DB underscore data, which is the name I have given, right? DB underscore data. DB underscore data. Volume got created. So let me check the network also. The network command, Docker network space ls. Can you see here one Docker default network got created? When you use the Docker compose up command, it will create one custom bridge network, which is nothing but Docker default, right? So this is your network ID. So your both the container, MySQL container and also your WordPress container is running on this Docker default network. So to inspect this one, there is a inspect command, Docker inspect, and you can pass the container ID. Say I'm passing this WordPress container ID. And can you see here, this network is the Docker default network. Docker default network. It is providing some IP address to your machine, to your container 1. So to check the container 2 also, let me check Docker PS space -a. And this is the another container, which is MySQL. Let me write a command called Docker inspect and paste that container ID. This is also running on your Docker default. It's a bridge network, right? Docker default. So using the script also, you can build your microservice architecture. So you can build your multi-container architecture. You can able to build it. You can build your multi-container architecture. So will you able to understand so far? Will you be able to understand so far? So remember, guys, we have a YAML file where we are writing the script. Using that, we are creating the containers, running containers. On top of the running container, you can host your application. Say, suppose I will go here and my public IP address, I will copy the public IP address. This is my public IP address. And I will put it here, colon, the port number 8000. If you run it, right, you have done the port mapping. You have done the port mapping. Okay, so I will allow the security group. So let me go to this server. Click on security group. And then I have to allow the inbound rule. Add one rule, 8000. Just to save this a particular rule. And refresh it. Can you see here? Your WordPress is running, right? On 8000 port. On 8000 port, it is running. So I will be selecting English. And click on continue. And suppose I want to give some title. Say I'm giving title like WordPress. WordPress is the title. I want to give some username. Say WordPress is the username. Okay. WordPress is the username. And giving the password, say email ID. Say I'm giving some email ID. Okay. So then I can install the WordPress. So my application is running. So whatever the chosen password, I can go for. Username is WordPress, right? Click on login. So let me give a WordPress and password also. Say WordPress. Click on login. This is the password. This is the password. I can click on login. So now I can see my WordPress dashboard, right? WordPress dashboard. So it means that my container is running my application, right? Without your container is running the application, how we can able to see this application? You deployed your application on your top of your Docker container. That's the reason we're seeing this WordPress application. Now, suppose I want to create some post. I want to add some post. Say for an example, I'm adding one post. I'm giving some title. Say this is a WordPress new. Like that, I'm giving some title. And whatever the things that I want, say I want to write it, something there, right? So I can publish this report. I can publish this particular report. So with this particular IP address, I can see, right? So whatever the post that I have designed, right? I can able to see how this data will be stored in DB, right? Without that, how you are seeing this? Then it means that you can able to build your container with the help of YAML file also. Many containers you can able to build it with the help of a Docker Compose. So instead of using some ad hoc command, right? We have to pull the image. On top of the image, you have to create the container, and then you have to do the port mapping, and you can deploy the application. That's one of the way. But this is the another way. Using the YAML file also, you can prepare your own script, and then you can write a command to run your YAML file, and you can host your application on top of the container. Right? It's a microservice architecture or multi container platform that you can able to prepare with help of Docker Compose also. Is that okay so far?
Yes, Dhanush.
See guys, so here just I have created a 2 containers, but in industry, 40 to 50 containers I have to build it, right? So more containers we have to prepare. So in that case, so I cannot write a ad hoc command to pull each and every image from the Docker Hub and to your local machine, or from some repository to your local machine, and then you can build the container and all. So most of the time people will go for earlier the Docker Compose also. But we have the container orchestration also. So that anyway we are going to learn tomorrow, which is called Docker Swarm. So Docker Swarm, using that also you can manage your container. Say for an example, you are running a 40 or 50 containers. In worst scenario, or 2, 3, or 4 container got deleted due to some configuration failure. Right? So automatically I want to scale out, or I want to scale in. How? So that we can do it with the help of some container orchestration tool. There are many tools are available in the market. So Docker itself, we have a Docker Swarm. Using the Docker Swarm, you can do the container orchestration. So in the same way, we have a Docker Kubernetes, right? You can go for Kubernetes. The Kubernetes also acts as an orchestration. Right? Many industry for swarming, for container orchestration, they're not using the Docker Swarm. The reason because it has only a limited feature. But if you go with the Kubernetes, you can prepare your own cluster. It means that you can add more container, all are in same network. You can prepare your own, the computer clusters, you can be able to build it. So anyway, that we are going to discuss tomorrow, the Docker Swarm, and we'll start the Kubernetes also. So let me open my terminal. And if you check the Docker volume ls, When volume got created, I already said db underscore data got created. Right? So it is again, Saran, we cannot tell 2, 300, 2000. No, we cannot tell the number. So what is the company infrastructure and what is the requirement, what they are building, what they are running. So what kind of application it is, what is the customer or user count, everything it depends. So no one can tell, right? This is the exact number the container is running. How we can tell? No, we cannot tell. It is impossible to tell. It is again, this question, if someone is asking, again, your answer should be, again, it is completely based on the infrastructure. Fine. So now suppose I want to stop this, whatever the YAML file you build, right? I want to stop it. I want to make it down. Can I able to down? Yes. So with help of a down command. So simply you can write docker hyphen a compose. You can write a down command. So what it will do? So it will remove the container. It will remove the network. It will remove the container, running container, and it will remove the network also. So press enter. It will stop your container C. Your container is stopped and WordPress also stopped. Your database also got removed. DB got removed. And your network also, no, right? So now if we check Docker PS, there is no container, right? Docker PS space hyphen A. We don't have any container. So if we check the network, Docker network, ls command. So can you see? No, we don't see the default Docker network. It also got removed. But if you ask me Docker volume, what happened to Docker volume? It is still available. It is still available. So if you don't want this volume, you can remove it, right? Docker volume space hyphen help is the command is available. So here, if you use the rm command, you can able to remove one or more volume. But if you want to remove all unused local volume, there is a command called prune. So you can write docker volume prune. So it will remove all your unused volume. Unused volume all got removed, right? Now if you check Docker volume ls, now we don't have any volume here, right? So this is how you guys can use your Docker Compose in projects. So using that, you can define and run your multi-container Docker application. So we can use the YAML file where we can configure our application services. Then using the Docker Compose subspace -d, a single command that will create and start all the services from the configuration. So far clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Right, guys. So from today onwards, every day 30 minutes, I'm going to take Linux command also. So the basic Linux command, every day we will start parallelly. So only one topic left from your Docker, which is called Docker Swarm. So container orchestration. So tomorrow we will discuss that one. So today, let's start with some Linux basics. Fine. Yes, are you clear? Or do you want me to take Docker Swarm or Linux basics? Can we start Linux basics or? Okay, so let's start some basics actually. This generally in Linux, right? The file system, it will create a tree structure, guys. Basically the file system that you are creating, right? Linux file system. That is kind of a tree structure. So all the files will be arranged as a tree and its branches also. So do you know what is the topmost directory called? What is the topmost directory in your Linux file system?
Root.
Exactly. Yes. Root is the directory which is the topmost directory in your Linux system. All other directory, right, in Linux can be accessed from the root directory. Whatever the different, files are available, like a bin or maybe a etc or home or war, whatever, right? That directory will be accessed only from your forward slash. It's a forward slash, it's a root directory, which is your root directory. So say, I will go to my terminal. I will exit from here and clear my screen. And now this is my Ubuntu machine, a Linux machine. So if you type a pwd, you know what is pwd? Present working directory. It's one of the Linux command. Present working directory. It's a basic directory command, right? So it will display the current directory. Can you see here? The current directory is /home/ubuntu. /home/ubuntu. It's the current directory. Want to understand. Now let me go to the root directory. The root directory. So cd, say put dot cd space dot. And if we type present working directory, say this is the forward slash. So forward slash is my root directory. Forward slash is my root directory. Now if you check, right, here can I check ls command? Inside this directory, you have this many directories are available. We have a binary. This is which is essential for your user command binaries. Right? We have a boot. So all the static file of your boot loader, right? It will be available here. Like that, we have a mini directory /dev /etc /home /library, then /mnt /media /opt /srv. All those directory available inside your this root directory. Right? Say if you go your home directory, cd/home, this is my home directory, right? cd/home. In the press enter, if you type ls, again we have one directory called Ubuntu directory. We have directory called Ubuntu directory. So like that, it will be in the form of tree. It has the hierarchical architecture. It has the hierarchical architecture. So fine. Suppose I will come back cd space dot. Now I am the root directory. So my present working directory, which is the root directory. Now I want to check my IP address. I want to check my host name. How to check the host name, guys? You know how to check the host name? So there is a command called host name is the command. When you write host name, right, it will tell you your IP address. See, press enter. Can you see here? It is the host name of your machine. I'm using the Ubuntu machine. This Ubuntu machine has IP-172-31-5-89. It's the host name of your Ubuntu server, Ubuntu virtual machine. Ubuntu virtual machine. Am I clear?
Yeah, Dhanush.
Right. See, if you want to change this, host name, can I able to change the host name? Yes, we can able to change the host name also. I want to change the host name. Can I able to change the host name? Yeah, we can able to change the host name. So to change the host name, you have to follow some steps. Say, first of all, you should be a root user. Let me type sudo space su. Thereby you will get the sudo privileges. Now say I'm writing host name. host name, space, I'm giving name called say node 1. Node 1 is the host name. Now press enter. Press enter. Say, let me write some message. Say echo, say I will write echo, say this is node 1. Echo means we are typing something inside some file. Say I'm typing /etc. I'm going to create a file called hostname. In that I'm going to write node 1. Now if you type a bash, right, it will tell you, can you see here? Can you see here? Now you are changing your IP address. You have changed the IP address to node 1. You changed your IP address to your node 1. So like that, you can able to change the host name also. So to change the host name, so you just simply write sudo space su, and then you can type host name and say node 1. And then if you want to type some message, say I will type echo, say node 1. And then I'm changing this configuration file also, /etc/host name. And then you can try to check a bash. So thereby you can able to change the host name. Change the host name. Guys, every user has its home directory, right? Every user has its home directory. So if you take a Ubuntu machine, this Ubuntu machine has some home directory, right? This Ubuntu machine has own directory. How to check the home directory? For that, you have to write the echo command, put $home. If you type it, right, you will check this is the root is the home directory. Root is the home directory. Suppose I'm coming out. I'm coming out. So now I'm the Ubuntu. I'm the Ubuntu user. How to check the home directory? You can write the echo $, put home. Home is the variable name, right? So if you put enter, so what is the home directory of your Ubuntu? /home/Ubuntu. /home/Ubuntu is the home directory of your Ubuntu server. So using that, you can easily understand what is your home directory. What is your home directory? How to check it? Echo $home. Am I clear, guys? This one? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So $home. In the same way, every machine has the path variable, right? Every machine has the path environmental variable. How to check the path variable? Same. You can type echo $path. Echo $path. When you press enter, can you see here? The path value. The complete path value, you can get it with help of echo $path. You can use it to know the path value. To know the path value, echo $path. So suppose I want to see all the environmental variable. How to see all the environmental variable? To find all the environmental variable, simply you can write the env command. It will give you all the environmental variables. See, this is one environmental variable. This is one environmental variable. Just now I spoke, right? The path variable. This is the path value. And this is one environmental variable value. This is an environmental variable value. Every environment /home. I have given home, right? At that time we got this answer. /home/Ubuntu. So we can see all the environmental detail with help of env command. So these are all the different environmental variable made so far on your Ubuntu machine. So in that, if you want to filter this path, you simply typing echo $, say I want this one, say this one. So you just, need to pass it like this. So you can see, right, the particular value. You can see it. So are you clear, guys? Yes or no? What happened? Why is silent?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dinesh.
Yeah. Can you tell me how to create an environmental variable? Suppose you are going to install some Java or Maven in your project. I want to prepare one environmental variable. What is the command? Can anyone tell me what is the command to create one environmental variable? To list out all the environmental variables, we have a env command. To list out the particular environmental value, we have a echo command. But how to create one environmental variable? To create an environmental variable, we have a command called export. Export is the command. Here you can give any environmental variable or value. Say for an example, I'm giving Java underscore home, any environmental variable equal to, I want to give some value. Say the value is JDK. That's what I'm giving. You can give it, right? Suppose I want to create one more. Export, say Maven underscore home equal to, say this is Maven Apache 4.0.0, like that something I'm giving. Export, it is basically to create some environmental variable. So if you want to check it, you simply type env command. You simply type env command. You will see there are two environmental variables you created, right? Can you see here? Java underscore home, which is JDK. And also you have created the Maven underscore home. Like that. In real time, if you want to create some environmental variable, how to create it? With the help of export command. So I can create, say, variable underscore. So if you check export var, right? So let me check env. So any variable called var. Where is that? Nope. I think I didn't give you any value. That's the reason I think so. But fine. Okay. Right. Say I want to, whatever the environmental variable I set, right? I want to remove that one. How to remove the environmental variable? There is a command called unset command. So here you can give, say, Java. Shit. 1 minute. Sorry. So unset Java underscore home. Unset Maven underscore home. Now if you check it, right? env command. Now that particular variable won't, you can see. You cannot see that. No, right? Java underscore home and Maven underscore home got removed because you returned unset command. You wrote unset command. So export command to prepare some environmental variable, unset command to remove the environmental variable. See, now the path variable, right? Now we have many paths. This is one path, and we have a second path, and third path, and fourth path, and fifth path, 6, 7, 8 path here. I want to create some path. I want to add some path. I want to concatenate some path. How to add a new path? How to add a new path? Say I will write export. What I need to export? I want to export the path. I want to export a path. Say I will write /home/ubuntu colon. I will write where in $ path I want to add. Press enter. Now if you check env command, can you see here path? And /home/ubuntu got added. /home/ubuntu got added. Like that, you can concatenate some path also. /home/ubuntu we have added, right? Inside your path. So for that, what command I have written? I have written the export command. So here I'm saying in path variable, you just add /home/ubuntu. If you want to add a new path, you can simply add it with help of this one. You simply use this particular command. Are you clear so far? So far what I said? So far what I said? So first set.
Host name.
Exactly. So first one, host name. The second one, how to change the host name.
How to change the host name.
So to change the host name, sudo space su command, and then you can write host name, some name you can give it, and then you can write the echo command. Finally, you can write the bash.
Bash.
Right. And what is the next thing? How to check the
change
environmental variable. How to see the
home
environmental variable. Echo command. Echo dollar, say particular variable name. Say suppose I want to check the path variable. Dollar path, but to see all the variable, there is a env command. Env command to see all the environmental details. To see all the environmental details. Right? To see all the environmental detail. So how to export an environmental detail? How to create an environmental detail? Export command. Export command. So here you have to give whatever the variable name you want to give, that you can give it, some value you can give it. Some value you have to give it. So suppose if you want to remove some environmental variable, what is the command? Unset command. Simply you can give the variable name. It will unset, it will remove. And how to add some path to your path variable. Right? You have to use same export command. And what is the name you want to give? You can give it, and whatever the path that you want, say for an example, some path, colon, that particular variable name. What is the variable name? Say path is a variable name. That you can give it. So this is the basics, right? Any question here so far? Is any question so far?
Dinesh, this export, variable name equal to value. So value can be anything, like any name.
Anything.
Okay.
See, in real time, suppose the person is giving some path and they're asking to do adding this new path to path variable. How to do that one? Simply you can use the export, the path equal to this one. This is the variable name. And this is where whatever the path that is given by your person, right, that you can add it here.
Like an extension.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
The value can be any number or alphabet, sir.
Value is nothing but a path, man. Say, for an example, in my machine, if we take Java, where is available. So if I go my application, I will show you this one. Let me open a new terminal. See, this is the directory. This is the path, right? This is, we can call it as path. Suppose if we go inside this, inside this particular directory, I have this many files, right? I have this many files.
Yes, sir.
So this is called directory. Suppose if you want to go inside this movies, how you will basically go? You will go cd movies you will go. And if you type ls space hyphen or al, or directly if you write ls command, inside movie I have it 2 folder, right?
Yes.
So if you want to check my directory location, pwd is the command to check all my directory path. So this path, you have to add it inside the path variable. It is not alphabetic, it is not a number. It is a location, it's a kind of a path.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Clear, right?
clear. Sir.
Fine. Fine. Right. So this is some simple command you must remember. Environmental variable commands. Right? Echo command you should remember. Echo means it will show something. And the host name, you know how to change the host name, that also you know. Say, suppose if you check my present working directory, it's my root directory. And if you type ls, inside my root directory, these many files are available. Suppose I want to go inside this temporary file, how to go? So simply you can write cd command, change directory. You can type tmp, that's it. Inside the directory, I have many files, right? It's a default files you available inside your this particular directory. I want to create some directory. Say I can write mkdir, right? Say I can create one file called test file. Test folder I want to create it. I can create it, right? If I type ls command, it will tell you one folder got created, which is called test folder. One folder got created, a test folder. Say I will come cd space dot dot, cd space dot dot. And now I am inside the root directory. Directly also I can create it, right? Say I can write mkdir. What is the folder name? Say temp folder slash, say I want to create test2. Inside the temporary folder, I want to create test2. Simply what it will do. It will create it, right? So I can type now. I can type now ls temp slash test2. Right? Sorry. So I can remove this. I can see, right? Test folder and test2 folder got created. With help of your make directory. Suppose I want to create a directory, some directory I want to create it inside this test. Inside this test, I want to create some directory. How to create? So I can write make dir slash temp slash say test slash say I can give a unit test. Say I want to write with something unit test. Right? If you check ls slash temp slash test, it will create a unit testing directory got created. So to check the current directory, we will type the pwd, present working directory. So suppose I will write cd slash tmp slash test slash unit test. Okay. Now I'm inside the unit test directory. How can I go back, guys? What is the Linux command to go back? What is the Linux command to go back? cd space dot dot. We'll go back. How to go to Ubuntu? What is the home directory I need to go? Slash home slash Ubuntu. How to do that one? How to slash home slash Ubuntu. Slash home slash Ubuntu. cd slash home slash Ubuntu. It will go to the home directory, right? Ubuntu directory. Now suppose if I write this one, now I'm inside the unit testing directory, cd, this one if I use present working directory, here also, right? Instead of writing slash home slash Ubuntu, you can use this tilde symbol also. Thereby, you will go to the home directory. Because how it's home directory? The reason because in the environmental variable they made, right? Inside the environmental variable, slash home slash Ubuntu got set done, right? Can you see here? Who is the home directory? That is that home here, slash home Ubuntu. That's the reason when you write like this, it is going to your home directory. Are you clear? Yes or no?
Yes, Darsh.
Say for an example, I want to remove this particular unit test. So simply you can put RM. Press enter. Cannot remove. It is a directory. Then what you should do? I can write RM dir. Remove directory. RM dir. Press enter. Now it got removed. To check this one, let me go to this test folder. And if we type ls command, no, right? There is no unit testing folder because it got removed. How you have removed? With help of RM dir. RM dir. Are you clear, guys?
Yes.
So still we have many commands, right? We have discussed. So make dir. So making some directory. To check current directory, we can use the PWD, present working directory. So here you can give whatever the directory name you want to give, that you can give it. Suppose if you want to change the directory, you can use the /cd and you can give the path here. The directory path you can give it. And suppose if you want to come back, you can use the cd space dot dot. This is the basic command, you can use it. Suppose if you want to remove some directory, you can use the RM dir and whatever the directory that you want to give, and that directory path you can give it. So thereby you can remove that particular directory. So this is basics. Am I clear so far? So this is directory commands. Are you clear so far, this? Any question on your directory commands? Basically, how to create environmental variable, how to delete them, how to create a directory, how to check the current directory, how to change the directory, how to remove the directory, the basic stuff. Okay. So now I will tell you some command related to your file operation. Some command I will teach you related to your file operation or file commands. So generally, most of the time we'll go for cat command, right? What is the purpose of cat command? What is the purpose of cat command?
We can see what is inside.
Yes, we basically see, right? We can see, we can view, we can read. Say, suppose if you take here, if you take here, say I will go the same cd space dot dot, cd space dot dot, can use ls command. You have a temporary folder, cd tmp, right? I can create one file also. I can say make directory, say some test file, test folder via mkd cd temp. Okay, make dir. Already we have a test, right? So I can go cd, say test. Inside this test, let me create some file. Say cat. I'll give some file name. Say this is demo1 or demo.txt file. So no such file or directory. It means that we have to create the file first. How to create the file? To create the file. Cat greater than demo.txt. Let's try. So I can write cat, this one, demo.txt. So here, say I'm writing hi, hello, right? Now, if you write demo.txt, you can see. So I have used the control C, that's the reason. Okay. Hi. It's suppose if I write VA also, I can write demo1.txt file to write something. Say I'm writing suppose welcome I'm writing, save this particular file. And if you want to check, I can write demo1.txt and welcome, I can able to write. So to read some file, we can go for a cat command. Say, suppose here I have a 2 file, right? So what I will do, I will write the cat space, the file name, which is demo.txt and demo1.txt, right? I can see, right? I can read the content of multiple file also by providing the space. Demo.txt where we have a hi and demo1.txt where I have welcome content is available. So that I can also able to see. Suppose if you write a cat space, say the demo, and here suppose I'm giving -n. N represent number, line number. So when you press enter, cat space -n demo.txt, and I can see, right, in line number 1 we have a hi, including line number also we can able to see. Say I will write demo1.txt and I will go to this. I will write something and save this particular file. I will save this particular file. And if you check this particular command, okay, the demo1. You see here, in first line we have a welcome, in third line we have e, fifth line hi, seventh line hello. So like that, we can able to view with the number also. As I mentioned, if you want to create a new file, cat greater than, and the file name you have to give it. Say this is demo2.txt. So whatever that I want, I can type it. Okay. So now, if you check cat demo2.txt, I can see welcome. Fine. So cat command generally to read or to display something. That time we can go for cat command. Using the cat command also, we can able to create a new file. But remember, after finishing the writing the file, right, press enter and then press Ctrl+C. So suppose if you want to copy the content of your file to another file, how to copy the content of one file to another file? Say suppose I have demo.txt file, right? In demo.txt file, we have hi. So this I want to copy to another file. Say demo.txt, put on greater than symbol. Here you can give another file. Say this is demo5.txt. Now if you check demo5.txt, now can you see hi here? So it means that you are copying the content of file 1 to file 2. Copy the content of file 1 to file 2. Say if you take cat demo.txt, demo1.txt, demo2.txt. Right? Here you have this many files, right? So here we have hi and then we have some content, all those files. Suppose you have a multiple file that I want to merge it to single file. I want to merge all this file into the single file. How to do that? How to merge the content of a multi-file into a single file? So I can write cat, say demo.txt. So let me use the same command. Here simply you can put greater, say demo6.txt. Now, if you check, right, demo6.txt, all those data you can find it here. All those data you can find it here also. So thereby we can merge the content of a multiple file, right? So you know how to copy the file, how to copy the content of file to another file. The same way multiple files also, if you have, you can copy those content into single file also with help of a cat command. The cat command is not only to view the file. Cat command, using that you can able to create one file also. cat command, using that you can able to copy the content also. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah, Dinesh.
So if someone is asking what is the use of cat command, the result is not limited to view the file. Also creating the file, also reading the file, also doing the copying. Say suppose I want to append the content of a file to another file. How to append the content of file 1 to file 2? How to append the content of your file 1 to file 2? So for that, you can use the cat command. Say before that demo.txt, in that we have hi. Say cat demo1.txt. Demo1.txt. Here we have like this. So cat demo2.txt. Yep, welcome. So in cat demo.txt, we have a hi. Cat demo.2.txt, we have a welcome. So what I will write now, cat, I will write demo.txt greater than, I will write demo2.txt. Now, if you check cat demo.txt, here we have hi. But if you check cat demo2.txt, your data got appended, right? You got appended. So you can do the appending also. You can append the content of one file to another file also. Initially, demo.txt has hi. Demo2.txt has welcome. Now what I have done? When you use this 2 times, greater than symbol 2 times, you can able to append. Whatever the data is available in demo.txt that you are copying to demo2.txt. Simple. Meaning that you are just appending. So using the cat command, you can read the file, you can write the file, you can appending the file, everything you can do it. Are you clear so far?
Yes, Dinesh.
So what I said so far. So to view some file, you can use the cat and you can use, say, file name, you can use it. Very simple, straightforward. And suppose if you want to display the content of multiple files, then you can write cat. Say here you can give the file 1 and space file 2, like that you can give it. And suppose if you want to view the number also, cat space -in, and you can give the file name here. And suppose if you want to create a new file, simply you can use one greater symbol, and whatever the file name if you want to give, you can give it here. So if you want to copy the content of one file to another file, then you can write cat, say this is file 1, save here, you can give the file 2. If you have a multiple file, you want to merge them, cat say file 1, file 2, you want to merge to a file 3 also. Multiple file if you have. To append the file, cat say file 1, you can write like this, file 2 like that. To append the file. To append the file, you can write greater, simple. Any questions so far? Any questions so far?
And also, I mean, Dinesh, the basic commands are more, right? Or
Yes.
that's it?
No, we have many commands.
Oh, okay, fine.
So today I've taken only 40-45 minutes session on Linux, right? Every day we have to take it forward for a week.
Okay, fine.
There are many commands. We cannot count even, but we should know, right? Some basic commands. So at least you should know how the cat command works, how to create the file, how to append the file, how to copy the file. The basic fundamental you should know. But again, for doing a single operation, right? In Linux, we have a many command. Even to copy the file, we can go for cat command. We can go for some other command also. Doing a single operation, we have a many commands. So once you get good experience with respect to Linux, you will get. But as of now, you just understand the basics. That's it.
Okay.
So now you know cat command. Earlier, you know cat command, it is only to view the file, right? But now you know how to create a file, how to copy the file, how to do the merging, how to appending, right? Okay.
Yeah, Dinesh.
Okay. Say, I will go to my terminal. Go to my terminal. Let me see what is available /temp /temp, right? Test. Is there any folder? Yes, this many folders are available. I can create, say, one empty directory. Create one empty file. How to create one empty file? How to create one empty file? So I can use a touch command. Using the touch command also, you can create an empty file. So touch is say app.app1.txt. app1.txt. So if you check ls, right? Now one file got created, app1.txt. It's an empty file. You can create it. So I want to create two more empty file. So how can I create it? Say touch app2.txt, touch app3.txt. Using that, also you can able to create the empty file. You see here app1.txt, app2.txt, like that. I have created some empty file. Say for an example, I have this app3.txt, right? I want to copy this file. I want to copy this file from here to my Ubuntu. How can I copy this file from here to Ubuntu? So for that, so let me say I will write cp command, cp copy. So what is the file? app3.txt that I want to copy from here to /home / Ubuntu. Right? Now, if you go your Ubuntu machine, if you type ls command, can you see here? We have app3.txt, right? You can use the cp command also. Using that, you can able to copy. Say, I want to add some content. I want to add some data inside this app3.txt. How to add some text to this txt? How to add some text to this txt? Simply you can write echo command. Right? Echo. Within that, say this is app3. Like that, I'm writing something. And then you can put on greater symbol. In that, you can define the text file name, app3.txt. Very simple. So if you check cat app3.txt, now it is saying that this is app3. I have added here. So to remove this particular file, simply I can write rm command, rm app3.txt. But if you go that particular folder, cd/temp/test. So if you type ls command, here also we have app3.txt. So if you want to remove this, simply you can write rm. It's a file, right? app3.txt. If you write it, that's it. You don't see the app3.txt. rm command, you can use it. To remove the directory only, we are using the rmdir. To remove the file and all, you can use the rm command. Say suppose I can once again copy this app2.txt to your machine /home slash Ubuntu slash home slash Ubuntu. Now it will be copied, right? Now I can remove this rm up to .txt. Now if you type ls command, it is not available. But if you go to your Ubuntu, if you type here we have up to txt. Now I want to move this one. I don't want to copy. I want to move this one. Where I should move? I want to move this up to 2.txt into my temporary test folder. How? You can use the mv command. mv means move. So now up to .txt that you are moving to your /temp/test folder, right? Yes, sir. Now if you go /temp/test folder /temp/test folder, if you check ls, can you see here once again you got up to .txt, but it is not available. It is not available inside your home directory. Inside home directory we don't have. Move is different, copy is different. You are moving this particular file to one location to another location. CP means you are copying. Move and copy you different. I hope you know that one. Yes or no, guys?
Yes, Dinesh.
Now suppose I will go to this cd/temp, say /temp/ this test I will go. Now if you type ls, I have many files. In a single shot, I want to remove all the files. How to remove this one? How to remove? rm space star. rm space star. If you type ls, I don't have any file. Right? So simply you can write rm space star. Everything will be removed. Say I have touch app.txt. Now if you type ls command, we have app.txt file. So if you want to open this, we are using the, if you want to edit this one, we basically use app.txt, right? So here you can go ahead and whatever that you want, you can write it here and save this particular file. You can save it. So to see this one again, app.txt, you are using. So these are all the the basic stuff you should remember again. In Linux, we have this touch command also. We have a touch command. Here you can give touch and you can give some path here, or you can give some file name here. Thereby you can able to create one empty file. Any text file or YAML file you can create it. If you want to open a multiple file, so you can mention file 1, file 2 like that. You can mention. Thereby you can create a multiple empty files you can able to prepare. Suppose if you want to copy, you can write the cp command and whatever the file name that you want to give, you can give some app.txt file that it can move to some other location. Say I want to move it to Ubuntu location. So cp command you can go for to copy. As to copy the content from one file to another file, we basically use the greater symbol in cat command. But to copy one file to another file, one file that I want to copy from one location to another location, we can go for cp command. cp command. Suppose if you want to write something inside the file, what you guys can do, simply you can write the echo and whatever the content that you want, you can put it here. All those content you can give it here. Echo command. You can give it here, right? Then you can use the greater and the file name. You can give it. So this is to type something inside the file. Or vi command you can go for. Echo command if you don't want, you can go for vi command. If you want to remove some file, you can give rm file name or file path. rm command. To move, again, you can use the mv command. What is your source location and what is your destination? You can give it. Move command as like copy. And to open something, we can go for VA also, or you can give the file path also. Thereby you can able to open the file. And suppose if you want to remove all the file inside that one, rm space star, or you can give some file path also, put slash, and you can provide the star inside this file, inside the directory, whatever the file that you have, that all will be removed. Is that okay, guys, so far? Yes or no?
Yeah, Dinesh.
That's everything we should practice. If not practicing, obviously, you will not understand. So these are all the basic Linux command. All are basics in Linux environment. Every day, maybe you have an activity to perform this kind of basic stuffs actually. Preparing the file, writing something, deleting the file, right? Moving the file, copying the file, right? Copying the details, and a touch command, MV command, RM command, CP, VI. Yes. So you do prepare actually. So just to practice this command. So tomorrow also 30 or 40 minutes we can invest for Linux and Docker Swarm. Tomorrow we will complete the Docker Swarm. Tomorrow is the last session for your Docker, and day after tomorrow we'll start the Kubernetes. Okay. Fine. Any more question on Linux? On Docker Compose?
No, Dinesh. Terraform will be done last, Dinesh.
Yes, yes. My plan is I need to cover the Kubernetes and 1 or 2 session on Prometheus and then Terraform.
All right.
Okay, then let's see tomorrow. Okay, so do practice. Let's try to practice this Linux command. It's very, very important. So if you practice once or twice, definitely you will remember all those commands. Okay, fine. Tomorrow we'll discuss, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Dinesh.